Hello, welcome to Anime Mystics. I'm Roman, and tonight I am watching Golden Kamuy Season 2, Episode 7. Yeah. Last episode was a Genjiro episode. He was basically going. It was basically a flashback episode about how he joined the military, the 7th Division. Not necessarily that division, but just the military. Started off with him in the flashback anyway. Talking to, was it Lieutenant Tsurumi? Yeah. Basically explaining how he joined to get revenge on a person who he considered his friend. The guy married his sister, and they didn't live too far from them, but I think it was maybe a few months, or maybe a year or so after they were married, that they went. Well, somebody came to get him because their house was on fire, and he ran over there and found his sister burned to death, but then noticed that she had a stab wound and saw the knife that was used. And it's a knife given to like the hunters, and each one gets like a specific knife for them, and so it's easy to tell whose it is. So he knew exactly whose knife it was, his friend's, his sister's husband, and he had gone missing. He figured that he joined the military, because I believe he heard that he had joined the military. So he went to join, despite his, mom and dad telling him, not to, asking him not to. Well, his dad, anyway, his mom was too upset to really say anything. But he joined anyway, because he wasn't going to let the guy get away. Once he gets in, I think it was a couple months later, he gets a letter stating that his mother died. Basically, broken heart. And he basically figured there's no way he can go back now. So continues his quest. And I believe he gets I think he got a transfer over to where he figured the guy would be, because he heard that he was in a certain area of the battle, so he wanted to go over there and see if he can find him. When he got there, he still had no luck. I think it was a while actually before he eventually found him. And when he did, it was because he was saving everybody in the trench. A Russian soldier was running to them, basically acting as a suicide bomber. And the guy jumped out of there, ran over and stopped him, but ended up getting blown up with him. He wasn't dead, not yet anyway. But he did lose his legs. And he finally, got to him and was about to kill him when the guy asks him to, because he can't see, he's blind now, asks him to deliver a message for him, basically about him, about Genjiro, right? Yeah. Basically explaining what happened. That his sister caught smallpox, and as we know, smallpox killed a lot of people back in the day. Um, and they didn't really have a cure for it in their village. So, once somebody got it, it could spread pretty rapidly. But they were keeping it a secret, and she basically knew she was going to die and told him to kill her and then live his life, however he wants. He wouldn't do it. Not at first. After a little while, he was finally convinced to do it. So in order to keep the disease, one, the disease from spreading, and two, from the village thinking that the rest of the family may have it and possibly, chase them off, he killed her and then burned the house down to make it look like she died in the fire. And he wanted Genjiro to know, exactly what went down, so that they could have, some kind of closure. And kind of skipped an important part. I didn't really know exactly how to talk about it, though. Because he was telling the lieutenant how he makes this food that his people make. They make it a certain way. You're not supposed to add anything to it, otherwise, I forget what it's considered, but it's not good. But he was putting, I think it was walnuts in it. And his friend was the only one who really knew, because he gave him some. And as he's dying on the ground, he had some with him, and he gives him some. And that's when he realizes that he was talking to Genjiro the whole time, and was able to deliver the message himself, only because Genjiro was there to kill him for revenge, even though he didn't need to, because there was nothing to get revenge over, even though, he didn't know the whole story till then. But, yeah. He does... what is the name of that fortune teller he's with? Inkarmat? That's what it says here. And the little boy he's with do end up finding a Sirpa in them. So I'm assuming this episode is going to pick up with them meeting and finding out, them telling them why they're there and all that. So let's get into the episode. And see what's going to happen. Alright, so the video is going to be located over here, and the link to the reaction is going to be in the description down below. Alright, now we're going to start this episode in 3, 2, 1.